Hello everyone, in this video we will talk about how to set up the basic research design and collecting pre-test and post-test data and testing the data using SPSS. First of all, I would like to introduce you to our group members of this research. We have Qori M, Yushfillah Qalbi, Shalma Mia, Sekliananda Kasih P, Nisrina Hanif, Dinar Kiranthi, and Priangga Rizki. By the end of this video, hopefully you have a better understanding of how to set up the basic research design and testing pre-test and post-test data. This video is more like a brief overview of the research that we just did. Before we did the research, we need to having prerequisite tests by doing pre-research to find the right target for the research. We need to get the instruments of pre-research: observation, interview, questionnaire, and documents. We did the pre-research at Man Sukoharjo. It is a school, and from that pre-research, we get the required informations. We observe that school by entering the classrooms and take some field notes. We did an interview with one of the English teachers in that school. And for the questionnaire, we had several students as the respondents. 62 students as the respondents. We also get some documents from the school, including teacher's lesson plan, syllabus, and some other required documents. And based on that pre-research, we design the title of this research. We are using how, what, and where questions. How we do this research? By using subtitled videos. What we want by doing this research? To improve students' listening skills. And where we do this research? In Man Sukoharjo. So the title of this research is The Effectiveness of Using Subtitled Video to Improve Students' Listening Skill in First Grade Students of Man Sukoharjo in academic year 2017-2018. And now, this is maybe the question that you have in your thought right now. Why? Why subtitled video while listening skill? Okay, as Mani Mozi Kumar stated that listening is generally defined as a conscious, cognitive effort involving primarily the sense of hearing and leading to interpretation and understanding. We listen with our senses to understand the communication being uttered. Our goal is to understand what is being uttered. We want to understand the words, the sentences, and through this understanding retrieve the intent the speaker had while he or she communicated. And Mehdi Latif Ali Mubalek Elham Muhammad explained that in the literature on movie subtitling and captioning, there is controversy over the effects of this help option on the listening comprehension ability of language learners. Nonetheless, the studies that support subtitling have usually demonstrated improvement in two major areas: a higher level of comprehension and better vocabulary recognition ability. In the literature on movie subtitling and captioning, there is some controversies over the effects of these help options on the listening comprehension ability of language learners. But yeah, Now we are showing you the results of the questionnaire. There are questions and the answer choices, and the amount of students that pick its answer choice. As you can see in question number 3 till 5, speaking skill gets the highest vote and listening skill is in the second place. Okay, now let's take a look at question number 11. This is the question of how the student ability in listening English. Most of the students state that their abilities are just common and tend to be poor. Then, from question number 12 and 13, we can see that they often listen to English song and watching English videos or movie in daily life. So we think there are potentials to improve their listening abilities. In question number 14 till 17, we can see their habits when they are watching English movie or videos. Most of them usually watch English movies with Bahasa Indonesia subtitle, simply because it is easier for them to understand the contents of the movies if they use subtitles in their language, Bahasa Indonesia. Comparing with if they are not using subtitles or using subtitles but in English, using subtitles in Bahasa Indonesia is the easiest way to understand the movies. So, using subtitle video in teaching listening skill is like give them the easier progression in order to preparing them to the real listening test with only audio. So, the effectiveness of using subtitled videos to improve students' listening skill in first grade students of Man Sugarjo in academic year 2017-2018 is the title of our research. Okay, let's move on. The school have 637 students in total from 3 different study levels. Let's say grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. There are 216 students in grade 1, 214 students in grade 2, and 207 students in grade 3. From that 637 total population, we pick XA2 class and XA3 class as the sample for this research. It's like a random sampling, but there is also a reason behind that sampling decision. We pick first grade because it has the bigger amount of students than the other grades. As you can see, 216 students compared with only 214 and 207 students. There is only 2 students difference between grade 1 and grade 2. But we decided to pick the grade 1 instead. And just because XA2 and XA3 have the same amount of students, 31 compared with 31. Okay. We gave a post-test to those 2 classes, and let's take a look at the result. This is the pre-test and post-test result. Okay, pre-test is the test before you give the treatment, and post-test is the test after you give the treatment. We will be testing the normality of this data using Shapiro-Wilk formula with SPSS program, but we first get to understand the basic concept of Shapiro-Wilk normality test. Number 1, normality test aims to determine whether the research data is normally distributed or not, because in parametric statistics, the normal distribution of data is a must and is an absolute requirement that must be met. So before doing data analysis in statistic parametric data, data should be normal distributed. Well, if the data is not normally distributed, then usage is not parametric statistic. Number 2, the data is performed as a requirement in the test independent sample t-test. Paired sample t-test and ANOVA test is a parametric statistic, so that the data to be tested should be normal distribution first. This is the basic concept in Shapiro-Wilk normality test. Then, next, the basic for decision making in this normality test is: number 1, if the value of significance more than 0.05, then the result data is normally distributed. Instead, number 2, if the significance value is less than 0.05, then the results data is not normally distributed. Furthermore, here we have research data consists of result of pre-test data and post-test data in class XA2 and XA3. Well, for the first, we will find out whether the distribution of pre-test data in XA2 and XA3 classes is normal or not distributed before we perform an independent sample t-test to find out whether there is an average difference between pre-test results for classes XA2 and XA3. Here I have data with a sample of 62 samples. Okay, just go for the states of data management using SPSS in general. Here I'm using SPSS version 2.4. In this view, then click the variable view. Then, in the name column, I write XA2. Then, for the second name column, I write XA3. And then, on label column, I write class XA2. And below it, I write class XA3. Like this. For more option, keep it this way. After that, I click data view. Here are the letters XA2 and XA3, as you can see. Then, here I will input the data of pre-test results for class XA2 and XA3. How? Just return to data in Excel. Then I block the results of pretest obtained. Then I just copy the data and paste in SPSS program. Just paste here. Yeah, like this. And check again, just to make sure all the data copied. Okay. After this input, you are sure it is correct. At the next step, click Analyze. Select Descriptive Statistic. Then select Explore. Here come the dialog. Here come the Explore dialog box. Then just select the class A2 and XA3 like this. After that, move it to the dependent list column by clicking this button. Okay, it's moved. Then select Plots. Then give checklist the normality plots with test checklist. Then click Continue. In Part Display, select Both Only. Then click OK. Just wait for a while. It will appear this SPSS output in separate normality test. There is a case processing summary about the amount of N used. Then that is inserted is 100%. All data entered on input. Then add the output descriptive. It describes this descriptive statistic data of its class XA2 and XA3. Furthermore, the output of test of normality, which we will use to detect whether the research data for class XA2 and XA3 is normal distributed or not. Here we see the significance for class XA2 obtained by 0.0. Then the class XA3 significance equal to 0.006. As the basic of decision-making normality test, if the significant value more than 0.05, then the data is normally distributed. And if the significance value less than 0.05, then the data is not normally distributed. So, it can be concluded that the data of pre-test results for class XA3 and XA2, both are not normally distributed. Okay, that's it. And for the normality test for post-test data, you can use the same way as pre-test data. The difference only on the data. And well, this is the result of post-test normality test. Here we can see the significance for class XA2 obtained by 0.001. Then for class XA3, significance equal to 0.0. Yeah, So it can be concluded that the data of post-test result class XA2 and XA3 are not normally distributed to. Okay, that's it. We hope by watching this video, you have a better understanding of how to set up the basic research design and testing pretest and post-test data. Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye. Much love. Peace out.